Right, all about hips today. We're actually going to start on our backs, so don't worry about standing up if you're already sat down. Have we all got our bands? Bands are optional. Makes one exercise a bit harder, one of them makes it a little bit easier. Good. There, we'll start on our backs. Knees up, feet hip width apart. Hands down by your side just to start with, or you can place your hands on your tummy. Doesn't matter. And just find that nice neutral position. So we've got a little bit of a hollowing in our back. Shoulders on the floor, hips on the floor. And even weight through both of our feet. And we'll just start with our breathing like we normally do. So nice breath in through our nose, drawing that belly button in, but not pushing our lower back into the mat yet. Then breathing out through our mouth. Yeah, breathing in, drawing that belly button in, just starting to contract those deep abdominals. Breathing out. Good. Now then, try not to tense up through your shoulders as you do. Stay relaxed through the hips. So only the deep abdominals that are firing as you breathe in and out. Good. Now let's continue that contraction. So breathing in through your nose. Draw that belly button in. As you breathe out, keep that contraction there. Just let the air go from your lungs. So maintaining a nice, good contraction. Those deep abdominals. If you can't find them, find your hip bones. Come a couple of inches in. And that's your transverse abdominis. That's the muscle here we're trying to tense as we breathe in. So trying to swell it up under your fingers. Draw that belly button in. Good. Last couple of breaths. Keeping that nice hollow in your back. That neutral. Lovely. Good, so we're going to add some movement into that nice breathing pattern. So as we breathe in, we're going to keep one knee still, our left knee is going to stay still, our right knee is going to fall out to the side. Keeping those hip bones pointing forward, breathing out, leg coming back to the starting position on your knee. Breathing in, slowly bringing the leg out to the side. Good. Breathing out as it comes back up. Keeping that nice neutral in your spine, keeping that nice contraction through the belly as you started through that first exercise. Just stabilises our pelvis, allows our hip to move. Sticking with the same leg. Now for those who've been doing it a while, if you want to make it a bit harder by means, do pop that right foot about an inch off the ground. And it's exactly the same movement, but you've got the whole weight of your leg now. Good, and it's nice and controlled. Really concentrating on drawing into your belly button. Breathing, keeping those hip bones pointing forward. Keeping that nice neutral in your lower back. And stay relaxed through the shoulders. Lovely, breathing in, knee coming out to the side. Breathing out, leg and knee coming back up to the top. Keeping your other leg really still. Nice. 3 more on this side. Okay, keeping that breathing with movement going. And last one. Fabulous. Right leg stays still now. We're moving our left knee out to the side. back up to the top. Making sure those hip bones point forward. As soon as you start to feel your pelvis tilt, that's as far as you go. Almost try and counteract that, pushing that left hip up a little bit. Getting those obliques firing, controlling that rotation through the pelvis. And again, like the opposite side, if you've been doing this a while and foot on the floor is a little bit easy, take that foot an inch off the floor. Lovely. Breathing in, knee coming out to the side. Breathing out as it comes up. Good. Staying strong through your core. That nice neutral in your lower back. So your back's not flat on the mat. There's a little bit of a gap, a little bit of a hollow. And that right knee is really staying still. Lovely, nice control movement, nice and smooth. As smooth as you can make it. Good, 3 more this side. Breathing in, like coming out, breathing out as the neck comes up. Good, last one. Lovely. Switching back to our right leg now. We're going to bring our right leg straight up above us. Our foot coming up towards the ceiling. Keeping that neutral. Like always, drawing through your belly button. We're going to breathe in as our leg lowers towards the ground but doesn't touch the ground, and then comes back up as we breathe out. So really working into those hip flexors now. They're often quite weak, that's why they get so tight. Good to work on that, and it's good as the leg comes down to really work on your position of your lower back. So don't arch through the back, really drawing through your belly button to keep that nice neutral spine. Good. And again, nice control with the movement. Smooth movement up and down. Put it on it too quick, otherwise that's cheating a little bit. Lovely. Should start to feel that hip flexor working a little bit now. Do 3 more. Good, and last one. Keeping that nice neutral spine. Lovely, placing your right foot back down on the floor. Switching over to our left leg. Starting with it straight, foot pointing towards the ceiling. Draw that belly button in, really tense through those abdominals. Breathe in as your leg lowers, breathing out. Leg coming up. Really controlling that pelvis movement, just the hip movement. No arching through that lower back either. Keeping that nice rhythm going. Movement with your breathing. Lovely. Nice and smooth. Not too quick. Controlling your own pace. Lovely. 3 more. Good, and last one. Lovely, leg coming up and both back down. Lovely, let's place our arms up towards the ceiling. Excuse me. Feet staying still, the hip width apart still. And we're going to start with that imprint, so nice breath in, push that lower back into the mat. And we're going to lift those hips up into a nice bridge and back down again. So that's kind of our level 1. Breathing out as you come up. Breathing in as you come down. Good, so our level 2, we're going to bring one knee up towards our chest and those hips coming up. So we're doing a single leg bridge this time, making sure that pelvis, so if you bring your left leg up, that left hip doesn't drop down towards the floor. Pelvis is staying nice and even. Breathing out as you come up. Good. Making sure you squeeze through those glutes. And we're riders, so we've got stirrups in our feet. So often with this exercise, people say push the heels. But if we push through our heels are going to be in a very uncomfortable position in the stirrup. So push through balls and heels. So imagine you've got that nice right angle in your ankle. Lovely. Breathing out, coming up. Breathing in, coming down. Lovely. If you're doing your single leg bridges and you've been alternating, keep alternating. If you've been doing the same leg, switch over. Lovely. Beginning with that imprint as well. Don't forget that imprint's so important. Just sets your body up, sets that lower back up all the way through the movement. Lovely. Last 3. Two. And 1. Lovely. And just hug those knees in towards your chest. Just give yourself a little break. Roll your knees side to side if that feels good. There we control that breathing. Lovely. A few more breaths. Lovely, and just release those knees. We'll need the band for this one. If you've got your band. Doesn't matter if you don't. It just makes it a little bit easier. It gives you that nice control through the exercise. So we're going to place the middle of the band around our foot. Legs coming up. Foot up towards the ceiling, the other leg, and have our knee up. Good, foot base on the floor. So we're just holding the ends. We're going to find our neutral in our lower spine, lower back. As always, draw in, make sure you've got that nice solid core. Elbows on the floor, but your hands are a little bit free, if that makes sense, to move with the movement here. So we've done the exercise before, I think last week, with our circles, with our hip, but this time we've got a band so we can go a little bit further. So start drawing circles, making sure our hip is making the movement, not our knee, not our ankle. And you can gradually make those circles bigger and a lot bigger with the band in your hand. So you get a nice little bit of movement through your hip here. The trick of this exercise is make sure as your leg comes out to the side, your other leg doesn't open up also. So really concentrating on making sure the knee on the opposite leg is staying still. Hip bones are pointing forwards, just making that movement from our hip, but we're controlling our other leg, controlling our pelvis. Good. And of course, breathing as always, breathing nice and steady. Good, and we'll just change direction of the circle. Good, keep drawing into your belly button, make sure that doesn't switch off just because you've got the band here. The band's just allowing us to make a little bit more movement with our hip. Lovely. Couple more circles, making sure they're nice, big circles, making sure you've got that control as well. Lovely, and then back it up to the top. And we'll just switch over legs. Good, same principle. Neutral spine, drawing through your belly button. Making sure you've got that nice solid core before you start moving your leg. Gradually making those circles bigger, making sure the opposite knee stays nice and still. Yeah, hip bones pointing forward. Breathing in through our nose, out through our mouth. Lovely. And let's change direction of the circle. Staying nice, relaxed through your neck and shoulders. Yeah, drawing in through your belly button, making sure your core doesn't switch off. We're still working through there. Lovely, last circle. Fabulous, bringing our leg back up, unlooping the band, down to the side for the second, and we're going to roll over onto our side. Lovely, so for this one you can either pop your head in your hand for your level one. There is a harder option which I'll show you in a minute. We're going to stack our knees, stack our ankles together, and then bring our ankles up off the floor. And I think you've guessed what we're doing here. So nice breath in, breathing out, lifting our knee up, breathing in, lowering it back down. So just working through those glute muscles, really important for rotation, stability. Stop those pointing out toes, especially in the jumper. Yeah, so the harder option is to come up onto your elbow almost into a little mini side plank. But just make sure you don't slump down on your shoulder. You really, that muscle between your ribs and your hip on the side that's towards the floor is really working to pull your rib cage up, and you're pushing through your shoulder also. So you're really just balancing on your hip here. Good. And you should start to feel it burn after a few. Good. Making sure our pelvis again stays nice and still, not opening up through up as we lift up with our knee. Good. 3 more. But the clams don't stop there. Lovely. And last one. Good. So we're just going to drop our bottom leg. If you need to rest your top leg, by all means do. Done this one before. Knees stay still. Rotating through our hip. So the leg or the ankle comes down and back up, but the knee doesn't move. Still staying strong if you're on your elbow, pushing through your shoulder. Really tensing through the opposite side. These are quite good ones, especially if you find you're collapsing through one side in the saddle. Keep your breathing going. Lovely. So really feel it burning now. Like they say, no pain, no gain. I'll push you out your comfort zone. Lovely. 3 more. 2. And 1. Lovely. Step the knee back down. We're going to come back down onto our side, bottom shoulder through while our legs just resting. Bring our palms together and just do a nice little rotation through our upper back. So breathing in, and then as you breathe out, lift up and over, keeping your knees together, around to the other side, and back again. If you're really flexible, you can get your hand on the ground, straighten your bottom leg, that top knee comes onto the floor. Just adds a little bit more. Just make sure your knee just stays on the ground. Lovely, breathing out, coming around, watching your hand all the way through the movement. Good, we'll do a couple more. And last one. Fabulous, good. Right, let's switch it over to the opposite side. And exactly the same, so either just that level 1, that easier option to have your body resting on the ground, or the other option was to bring your elbow underneath your shoulder. So that muscles in your rib cage and your hips, really pinching together to lift up through your rib cage so your back got up nice straight back. Stacking your knees, ankles together, lifting those ankles slightly off the ground. Breathing out, lifting your knee up, breathing in, coming down. Good. Making sure hip bones, pelvis is in neutral, so we're not opening up through our pelvis. So hip bones will come up towards the ceiling as we lift our knee up. just our hip movement, really focusing on those hips. Staying strong through your shoulder. Good. So many little things to think about, it's easy to forget one thing or concentrating on the other. Nice. Keeping your breathing out as your knee comes up, in as it comes down. Good. Last 3 of this exercise. And last one. Good. Dropping that bottom leg, keeping that top knee up if you can. If you need to break, by all means do. And then we're rotating through the hips. So knees stay still. So it's our ankle going up and down. If you're propped up on your elbow, make sure you really stay neutral through your spine. You're not ending up slumping down. Looking at you, Jay, this is the one to work on. The side, your collapsed hip. Be a nice little warm up for you before you ride. Good. Breathing still with your movement. And last 3. I know you can feel the burn, even I can. Lovely, last one. Good, place those knees together. Come back down onto your side, palms together. Nice breath in and then breathing out, watching your hand around to the other side, keeping your knees together. Or if you're nice and flexible, you can straighten your bottom knee. Bring that top knee back onto the floor, so you just have to rotate a little bit more to reach the ground. Nice. Nice mobility exercise. And that nice rotation through your upper back. Lovely. Just do a couple more. Last one. Lovely. Right, let's roll onto our front and we'll come into our 4-point kneeling. So wrists underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. And just this last stability exercise before we get into that mobility side of our hips. So you can use the band for this one, it's optional, I'll show you in a minute. Nice neutral spine, so dipping, rounding if you need to find that middle ground. And I think we're all good enough. Let's go opposite arm, opposite leg, but we're holding it for a breath at the top there before we come back down. Switching sides, holding it for a breath and coming back down. Now as we're holding it, we're really squeezing through our glute, making sure our hip doesn't drop. On each side. If you've got your band, you can make a loop in the bottom. And that loop can go round your ankle. It's entirely up to you. This makes it a little bit harder Makes you really work a little bit through the resistance, both arm and leg. Just start with one side, so round your left ankle or right ankle. Make sure it's in the same hand. Good. Now if you've got that resistance, don't let the band fling your arm or leg back down. Control the movement back down. But you're still holding it for a beat at the top, or breath even. Lovely. Good. If you've got the band, switch over to the other leg. If not, carry on. Making sure you don't lose that nice neutral position in your lower back. It's kept in that nice neutral position as you extend arm and leg. And also just make sure your knees don't come narrower than hip width apart. They're coming down as they started and don't come narrower. Lovely, breathe it out as you extend arm and leg. Breathing in and out at the top there, and then in as you come back down. Good, 2 more. And last one. Lovely. If you've got the band, just take the band off and pop it to the side. Bring our toes together, widen our knees. Hands out in front, make sure your knees are quite wide, and then sinking your weight over your heels. So just making those knees a little bit wider just makes it a little bit more focused on the hips. Just widen through those adductors, through the extensors that we just worked. Head on the floor, and just use that time to control your breathing. Relax those hips into the heels. Calming your breathing right down. Lovely. And then coming back into our 4-point kneeling. Bring our knees a little bit closer together, but we're going to bring our left knee up to the middle, and then the left foot's going to come out to the right side. Slide your right leg back, and we're into our pigeon pose. So really going through that left glute. You can come down onto your elbows. Good. Take a nice breath in, and as you breathe out, just let that tension go from your left glute, that left bum area. Easy to tense up through there. Lovely. Getting a nice breath in and out. Teaching your body not to tense up through that left side especially. Lovely, so while you're there, bring your left elbow a little bit further across. We can make this a bit of a double whammy stretch. Bring that right leg up towards you, and if you can, push up off your palm of your left hand, and then you should come up a little bit with your chest, allowing yourself to grab your right foot. Good. And being in the position you are already, you might feel like you've got a bit of a stretch down the front of your right thigh. So stretching those hip flexors in our right leg, and then stretching those glute muscles in our left leg. Good. And again, just breathe in. If it's too much, you can always use your band around your right foot. If you've got really tight hip flexors, if you can't quite reach your hand. Lovely. Last few breaths. The left hip should be feeling nice and stretched out right now. Good, just releasing your right hand, bringing your right hand down in front of you, allowing you to slide your left leg back. We'll do the same with our right leg, so right knee coming towards the middle. Right foot out to the left side, sliding your left foot back, coming down onto your elbows. Lovely. And again. Breathing out, teaching your body to just relax through the right glute muscles. Breathing out, allowing that tension to go from your hips. Lovely. Enjoying that nice stretch. Controlling your breathing, not letting your body tense up through the tips. Lovely. Right, bringing your right elbow across. Right palm down, lifting your chest up, allowing you to grab your left foot. Use your band if you can't. Good, get a nice stretch to the right glute muscle. You might find a difference between your hip flexors. You might be able to find, like for me, this one's a little bit tighter. You just feel the stretch come on a little bit sooner. Lovely. And breathing, of course, not holding our breath. Breathing out. Let that tension go a little bit. Have you got your band, Joe? Loop your band around your ankle. And you have to put it then. That's to be a good one for you, Joe, because I think where you don't use your left glute, you're compensating with your hip flexor. Good. Lovely. Just hold that a little bit longer, Joe, but for everyone else, just release. Good. Coming back up into sitting. Good. And we're going to cross one leg behind, one leg in front. Good. So, the way you want to lean, bring yourself down onto that elbow. And then we're going to walk our elbow round towards the back slightly. So come directly down and then round to the back. And then with the hand on top, we're going to lift up and over. And the hip that's on top, with the leg tucked behind, we're going to push it forward. So again, we're going into those hip flexors. And if it's too intense, just release that hip so don't push the hip as far forward. Also quite a nice one through the pec in our chest. Lovely, coming back over and round to the middle. And let's switch our legs over. Lovely, and again, bringing our elbow down to where you want to lean, walking it backwards. And then that top arm coming up and over, pushing through with that top hip. And breathing, of course. In through our nose and out through our mouth. Lovely. And coming back over. Coming into sitting, and we're going to bring our feet together. I'm just going to turn side on so you can see what we're doing. Holding our ankles, holding our feet, whatever's comfortable here. We're going to take a nice breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to tuck our chin towards our chest, almost round through our spine. Just let those knees drop down towards the floor. Breathing in, coming up into that nice neutral spine, nice tall feeling through both of your sit bones. Breathing out, rounding through your spine, bringing your chin to your chest. Relaxing through those knees. Allowing your inner thighs just to stretch out a little bit. Good. If it's too intense and you feel like you can't bring your chin to your chest, just bring those feet forward a little bit. This helps with the position of your pelvis. Good. Teaching your body to relax the inner thigh. Let that stretch happen. If it feels good at the bottom here with your chin tucked in, you can hold it. Lovely, we'll do a couple more. Breathing in, good, as you sit tall, breathing out, rounding through. And last one. Lovely. Sitting tall, relaxing those feet forward. Good stuff. Well done, guys. Good session.